Hello and welcome to the Telescope. Every week we bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. Today we are in Zhuzhou to try out a very special Zeekr 001. It's not the single motor version, it's not the long range version, it's not the dual motor version, but it's the FR. It has quad motor, you hear that correct, full motor, 1265 horsepower with full torque vectoring from 4 independent wheels, mind-blowing performance, and we're on a track, so guess what will happen? Here we are on track with the 1200 horsepower quad motor Zeekr 001FR. F stands for Future Road, and this circuit is capable enough to run Porsche Carrera Cup Asian Series. The best upgrade from the dual motor version to the FR is definitely the carbon ceramic brakes. I suspect if you throw on this set of brakes onto the dual motor 001, in terms of pure lap time, it won't be that far off. You really need to straighten this car for the quad motor to do its work. Otherwise, you still feel this is a quite heavy, and sometimes you can feel the quad motor torque vectoring is kind of hesitating. Should I give full power? Should I not? Bear in mind, we are now in the sport mode. We are not in the track mode, and we are definitely not in the Kimi Räikkönen mode. They are still tuning that mode. But here on this track, with lots of downhill braking into slow speed hairpins, I will say the best investment this car has made over the dual motor version is definitely the carbon ceramic brakes. For a car that's 2.5 ton, it really needs it. You really need to put the steering dead straight for this car to really wow you. You know, this car, even over 170 kilometers an hour, it's still pulling crazy fast acceleration. I would argue if you want to experience the full potential of this car's straight line performance, this track is still not big enough. Arguably on tracks that's bigger than this and smaller than this, the different attributes, this car will shine more on bigger tracks because it will have longer straights. This car will shine more in smaller tracks because those tracks have the Mickey Mouse corners that the torque vectoring can really show its performance. But on this track, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. The straights are not long enough for this car to really show its power, and the corners are not Mickey Mouse enough for the torque vectoring to do this work. Post-track driving reflections, as you've just seen, it's not just a body kit. See here, this red air intake is the dedicated brake cooling duct. It comes all the way here to cool this very valuable set of carbon ceramic brakes. I've checked, this is actually the cheapest car in China that you can buy with carbon ceramic brakes fitted as standard. On the track, it does wonders for this car's roughly 2.5 ton body weight. Here on the inside, you have a bit of red accent interior to remind you you're not in a regular Zeekr 001FR. And you get a slightly squared off steering wheel with dedicated buttons to control your boost and the custom launch mode. But I think what differentiates from this car from just about every other performance vehicles or performance electric vehicles is that you lose little to none creature comfort. This is still a Zeekr 001, which is a very spacious, very generous, very well built electric vehicles. You still have the infotainment powered by the Qualcomm 8295 chips. The animations on this, I believe, is 60 frames per second minimum. It's that smooth. And you even gain a track mode. You need to agree that you are in a safely guarded motor racing circuit. Once you press in, the whole system changes. And it even reminds you turning on air conditioning will affect performance. It reminds you now the battery temperature is not at its best. Estimated 79 minutes it will reach its best. If we step outside of the vehicle, currently all of the fans on the car's cooling system is going at maximum pace to try to cool this car down, to provide the maximum amount of current available for your track driving. Here you can adjust your torque distribution front and rear. Currently it's on 20% front, 80% rear. You can control how stable you want the car to be. You can control the amount of energy generation and the steering weight. And it even has a drift mode. We're hearing next year through the over-the-air update, Zeekr will give every Zeekr 001FR the Kimi Räikkönen mode. Yes, Zeekr has hired the former Formula 1 world champion Kimi Räikkönen to work on the dynamics of this car. When I say you lose little to none comfort, I really mean it. See, I'm 5'11". Here in the back, I have a lot of space. This is still a Zeekr 001. It's very comfortable, very spacious. It's a very solid electric vehicle. It just happens now to have 4 motors and 1265 horsepower. If there is a criticism, it's this rear wing. I think it's too understated. This looks like an aftermarket rear wing. If the regular Zeekr 001 looks like a regular family car with maybe 200, 250 horsepower, this at best looks like a car with maybe 500, 600 horsepower. If I don't tell you, you definitely cannot tell. This is a 1265 horsepower quad motor crazy monster. I think this rear wing should be roughly here, minimum, to tell everyone I've bought the special Zeekr 001. This car is very cheap. It's only 100,000 euros. I mean, 100,000 euros doesn't always come with only before it, but for a 1265 horsepower quad motor electric vehicles, for the amount of performance it offers, I think 100,000 euros is a very cheap price. I hope this Zeekr 001FR is the first of many Zeekr FR performance-orientated electric vehicles, because the Chinese electric vehicle industry has such a lead over the practical, budget-friendly EVs. Only they have the time and effort to work on something like this. Everywhere else in the world, they're still working on battery cost and trying to build an affordable electric vehicles. Finally, someone is building such an exciting 1200 horsepower Zeekr 001FR. I hope to see many of these in the future. That is all from the Telescope today. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.